What's up guys, welcome to AnimeKouhai. If you'd like to help me out, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel.
It took a lot of magic power to communicate across dimensions, but they had the skills to do it. They established a secure way to stay in touch, and the meeting wrapped up.
I'll be going now.
Obara said goodbye and left. Milam and Midley stayed behind, thinking about the conflict that might come.
Volume 18, Chapter 1. Walpurgis. Part 1.
Rain's portal took us to a wintry realm, filled with ice and snow. It seemed like we had arrived at Guy's palace this time. Rain led me into the palace, guiding my steps. Xian and Diablo followed closely behind us. Despite the harsh cold outside, the interior of the castle was warm, though there was clear damage from a recent incident.
Ah, there you are. Milam and de Gruel will be here soon, so just relax and wait for them,
Guy said, leading us to a room. The grand hall was set up with round tea tables, creating a festive atmosphere. Chairs were scattered around for flexible seating. Looking around, I spotted Ruminez and Leon already present. Pope Louis and Gunther, the elderly butler, were standing behind Ruminez. Alrose and Claude, the knights in full armor, accompanied Leon. Seeing familiar faces was comforting, and after exchanging greetings, I took a seat. Xian and Diablo remained standing, hesitant to sit. I wanted them to join me, but I left the decision to them. Suddenly, Ramirez burst in.
Why did you leave me behind?
I had assumed she was with us, but apparently, she was left behind.
Why, Ramirez-sama, weren't you with us?
I was surprised, and so was Rain, who was leading the way. She seemed taken aback, thinking Ramirez was following her but was actually getting upset. Misery stated,
Rain, you rarely make mistakes. Ramirez-sama urgently asked me to bring her.
As she looked visibly battered, much like Rain but with a sharp expression. Initially, I thought Rain and Misery were alike, but their personalities clearly differed now.
I see you're distracted by your injury, Rain-chan. I was just worried about who to bring. But here we are.
Noticing that Ramirez was joined by Beretta and Hay, I couldn't help but realize she had not one but two attendants.
Veldora, what's going on?
Ruminez questioned, spotting Veldora behind Ramirez and showing her displeasure. In response, Veldora laughed.
I heard there was an important meeting, so I had to join. I meant to follow Rimuru, but I missed him and followed Ramirez instead.
Blissfully unaware of the tension, Veldora confidently made his point, despite Ruminez's sour mood. Ramirez chimed in.
That's right. Having Master with us is like having 100 helpers. You should be grateful I brought him.
Even though Beretta seemed disapproving, it seemed the two of them were unstoppable.
Oh, I'm sorry. I messed up.
Rain apologized.
No, it's not your fault. We rushed here too.
I comforted Rain, seeing her sad expression.
Well, I did call you in a hurry, so it's natural to be quick. Rimuru, remember I said you can address Rain and the others casually?
Guy-sama is correct. Rimuru-sama, please address us by our names.
I totally agree. It feels nice and friendly when we're called by our names.
Misery-san really gets where I'm coming from. When I talk to others, I have two ways of using respectful titles. The first way is when I want to keep an eye on someone, and the second is when I want to keep a bit of distance. If I'm not close to someone, or if I need to be careful around them, it seems rude to not use the right title. It's a way to avoid potential conflicts and maintain peace. But when I become close to someone, I naturally start using their first name. There are some exceptions, like Haruna-san or Trainee-san, who I always feel like calling san. Suddenly, unexpected voices joined in.
Rimuru, you've been using my name too.
Ruminez said.
So it might be too late to switch it up now.
That's true.
Leon added.
You're so bold, changing now might be hard.
Their conversation hit home with me.
Okay, then I'll start using everyone's name from now on.
I decided, taking Guy's and the others' advice. There was a little break in the conversation, and Misery and Rain went off to check on Milam and de Gruel. The rest of us relaxed and enjoyed the snacks on the table, taking it easy. A while later, Milam burst in with lots of energy, questioning Guy's lack of communication manners.
If you need help, Guy, at least tell us ahead of time. Frey thinks it's about being polite.
Milam said, in her usual lively way.
Indeed, Frey?
Yes, that's correct, Guy-sama.
Frey, I was just telling Rimuru not to use honorifics. The same goes for Carrion and everyone else here. You guys don't need to be so formal.
Guy's comment caught my attention. Everyone here is really strong, that's for sure. I think Leon's followers may not have a lot of magicules, but they're skilled. Frey, as a true demon lord, in the million class, definitely deserves respect. We're not sure how strong she is exactly, but she's more than just a follower. Frey-san showed her appreciation, saying,
Thanks for understanding. I'll drop the formalities from now on.
Frey-san responded to Gi in his domain. Carrion also showed respect to Gi, echoing Frey-san's sentiments. I'm not one for formalities, so I appreciate the consideration.
Gi, what's our meeting about today?
Carrion, like Frey-san, is in the million class. He may lack manners, but he's got a royal presence. Carrion greeted me with a raised hand when our eyes met. Gi chuckled, saying,
Let's wait for DeGruel to join us before we continue. But I have to say, I'm surprised. Carrion and Frey have both grown stronger.
That's true. I knew they were getting better, but seeing it in person really shows their progress.
I couldn't have done it without you. Maybe it's what Milam wanted, but this conflict pushed me beyond my limits as a harpy.
Gi nodded in approval at Frey-san's smile, saying,
That's how you climb to the top.
I feel the same. Overcoming the stereotypes about beastmen has its benefits, and being involved in Milam's plans has really helped.
Carrion laughed heartily.
Wait, what? I'm completely lost. I don't understand what you're saying.
Don't act innocent, Milam. You knew we needed to get stronger for future battles against humans, so you set things in motion.
Yes, that's the deal. If this is the world Rimuru Dono wants, we wouldn't have gathered the souls needed for awakening. Maybe this was your last chance?
That's not right. Is it true?
Oh, I'm not sure. Stop with the nonsense and just sit down.
Milam's way of speaking, evident in her yelling, seemed like she was embarrassed. So, that was her plan, I thought to myself quietly. But that's not the main problem here.
Frey-san, you don't have to use dono or any honorifics with me.
Trying to make my point, Frey-san chuckled in response.
Nope. You're a friend of Milam-chan, our master, so you deserve respect too.
However, you also refer to Milam in a casual way. I'm not entirely convinced.
If that's the case.
Also, you've been using honorifics when talking to me. Can you stop doing that?
I got caught up in my own question. Frey-san's request presented a tough challenge for me. It's one thing to address Carrion, but I feel uncomfortable calling out to Frey-san in a casual manner. How can I explain it? Maybe it's the vibe that I struggle with. In the presence of an attractive woman, I tend to feel powerless. With Milam as a child and Ruminez as a lovely young lady, I feel secure. If they were older, I might have had some difficulties. But if the person was as unimpressive as Shion, the barrier would instantly fall, and I'd feel at ease.
Rimuru, so you have trouble with mature beauties, huh?
He saw right through me?
Fine. When I need to ask you something, I'll turn into a beautiful woman.
I don't want that kind of attention. If I realize it's you, I won't be happy.
I was so flustered that I lost my composure. So, I ignored Gi's words completely and expressed my true feelings.
Exactly. After all, Rimuru-sama has a fantastic secretary like me.
Are you saying that about yourself?
I have to say, you appear quite presumptuous to think Rimuru-sama would be interested in you. Plus, I can easily transform into a woman and if Rimuru-sama wants it.
I don't want that, so let's wrap up this conversation.
Diablo was more threatening than Shion. Worried he might say something outrageous if left alone, I quickly stopped the conversation. My subordinates really do pose a challenge. I wished I had taken Benimaru with me instead. At the same time, DeGruel also showed up. Even though he came alone, his presence still carried a strong aura of intimidation.
Wow, things are really chaotic. Is that meeting very serious?
That was DeGruel's opening statement as he settled into the large chair indicated by Rain. It was interesting to see the chair look distorted despite being made of solid stone. Even though no one brought it up, I still noticed it. Actually, everyone noticed it. There was also a big crack in the walls of the hall, implying something significant had happened. I had been skillfully steering the conversation in a different direction to avoid facing the inevitable trouble. It was a way to avoid getting involved in the situation, but now with everyone there, it seemed like addressing the issue was inevitable.
Things have gotten quite complicated. I really need everyone's input.
Well, that's quite a request from you.
Gi nodded, causing DeGruel to adopt a serious attitude. He clearly understood the seriousness of the situation. He wasn't just looking for advice, I thought, gazing into the distance. Recognizing this, Gi stood up and happily announced.
All right, let's switch locations. It's time for a crucial discussion with our cooperative, Octogram.
Are we all on the same page when it comes to working together? I scolded myself inwardly for talking in my sleep. Even though Gi's smile gave me a bad feeling, we had no choice but to go along with his instructions reluctantly. The setting was a hall with a round table, isolated from the outside world. I was impressed to see that drinks were already set out. Guy sat at the head of the table while I took the seat directly across from him. Milam was on Guy's right, and Ramirez was on his left from where I sat. Leon was to my right, Ruminez sat between Milam and Leon, and De Gruel was on the other side. Despite the fact that Ramirez had a small chair, the arrangement still seemed balanced due to De Gruel's large, heavy chair. Upon sitting down, I noticed there was an empty seat between myself and De Gruel.
I don't see Dino. Should we wait for him?
De Gruel asked the obvious question. The other demon lords also seemed curious, their attention shifting to Guy.
Oh, right.
Guy looked in my direction. I could feel his gaze on me immediately.
Rimuru-kun.
Guy seemed to know about Dino's betrayal. I wasn't sure how he found out, but his focus on me indicated he had some knowledge of the situation.
Yes, do you want me to explain? Dino betrayed us, that's the gist of it.
Too brief. Please provide more details with respect.
Okay, I'll explain.
I sighed and went into detail about how Dino had turned against us under the influence of Michael's ultimate dominion, despite his original intentions.
Dino has switched sides.
De Gruel muttered to himself as he listened to my tale. His close friend seemed deep in thought.
Even though he has changed allegiances, he seems to still be in control. But I need to confirm his true intentions.
Michael, you say? Are you suggesting that a mere skill has its own will?
Guy asked. It was clear that Guy was also unaware of Dino's betrayal.
Yes, that's right. He has developed an ego and now controls Rudra's body, calling himself Michael.
With Seal-san as my partner, we have solid proof to back up our claim.
Wait, Rimuru. Are you saying that the ultimate dominion can affect angelic system skills? How do we tell the difference between angelic and demonic skills with such blurry lines?
Ruminez raised a valid point. I found myself pondering the same question. Just then, Guy stood up.
Let me explain.
Guy went into a detailed explanation of skills, revealing a hidden secret about how the world's mechanics worked, generously sharing his knowledge with us.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. A big thanks to the AnimeKouhai patrons who made this video possible. Havox, Speed Saber, Curtis Loban, Linnell Scarlett, Khaled, Christian Deshazer, Cal Robs, Divine C. Harris, Panda Cats, DeAndre Nance, Montyboy98, D-Man, Ruben. Thank you so much for helping out. I'll see you guys in the next video.